We're getting you ready. Game 2 between the D-backs and the Brewers. Arizona leading the series 1-0. Zach Gallen making his postseason debut. That's coming up next. All right, time now to welcome in Terrika Foster-Brasby, our resident Detroit Tigers fan who had a disappointing season this year, given that it was Miguel Cabrera's final season playing baseball this year. But there were a lot of other teams that had disappointing seasons and teams that spent a lot more money than the Detroit Tigers did. So you're going to give us your top 5 most disappointing teams of this season, Terrika, and let's start with number 5.
Yeah, number 5, I've got the St. Louis Cardinals sitting there. I mean, we came into this season thinking that this was a team that could absolutely win the NL Central, and they finished dead last. First time doing that since 1990. Adam Wainwright deserved better.
Sure did.
Okay?
No doubt. 19
years in this league, he deserved to have a better end to that. I think we knew by the All-Star break that this was going to be a team that wasn't going to be getting it done. Pitching was mediocre at best. They were averaging 5.12 runs per game. I mean, it was bad. So let's move on from them.
Let's move on. Bottom of the Central for the Cardinals this year. On to number 4, Terrika.
Sorry, New York fans. This is where you are.
I think they agree with you, though.
This is where you are. Did they finish the season over 500? Yes. But was this a disappointing season? Absolutely yes. This team doesn't care about finishing with a winning record. They care about winning championships, and this season was below that standard. To me, the issue was simply Brian Cashman hasn't put pieces around Aaron Judge or Garrett Cole, and that might have been sustainable for a while, but the AL East has caught up to them. It's not sustainable anymore. He's got to fix it.
No question, and expectations are going to be sky high once again in New York next year. On to number 3. What do we got here, Terrika?
All right, number 3. San Diego Padres.
A lot of money there, too.
I mean, this is just really out of question. And what's crazy about this is that, this team didn't play horribly, right? They also ended the season 82-80, over 500. We just learned today that they are bringing back, can't believe I'm saying this, they're bringing back Bob Melvin and A.J. Preller. Why? Obviously, this team is a team that needs a new voice. It's a team that has a decent roster, an expensive roster at that. Didn't get quality pitching when it needed it, but all in all, absolutely probably need a change of voice.
Yeah, maybe the definition of disappointing there. Number 2, who do we got here?
Oh, no, the definition of disappointing is number 2.
Yeah, that was, yeah. No, you got a point there.
That is absolutely the definition. When you think about the 2 people who are top of mind, the face of MLB, you think Shohei Ohtani and you think Mike Trout.
Yep.
Both of those players were unable to really do what needed to be done. Mike Trout, injuries, can't blame him. Shohei Ohtani, though, he had a historic season yet again and eventually cleaned out his own locker. That's how disappointing the Angels were. They have to figure it out. Revamped pitching, right? Where anybody else other than Shohei Ohtani didn't really show up to do what needed to be done. And if Mike Trout isn't healthy, then this team just doesn't go.
Yeah, no, and again, the Angels, I can't really bash them too much, taking a risk at the deadline and keeping Ohtani. I mean, that was their chance to kind of keep him around and win, but the win didn't come. So that's the problem with the Angels. All right, on to number 1, Terrika. Who was the most disappointing team this year?
I don't think anyone is going to disagree with me when I tell you that my number 1 team is none other than the New York Mets.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
that's all you got to say.
They've been disappointing people for years, but this one is just out of control. 101 wins in 2002, 74 this season. Pitching went from one of the best in 2022 to absolutely non-existent this season in 2023. Pete Alonso looked like a shell of himself. It was just like the most expensive roster in MLB history, which basically ended with no Verlander, no Scherzer, essentially no manager either because Buck Showalter's out of there. It makes no sense, and it's unexplainable what happened to this team this year.
All right, great stuff, Terrika. Let's go ahead and bring in Clinton Yates to get his reaction here. Any sort of qualms with this list here, Clinton, first?
No, I like your list, Terrika, but to me, the Padres are at the top of the list.
Ooh.
Let's not forget everybody they got rid of to bring in Juan Soto.
True.
That is a big factor here. And so if he leaves because he is, a free agent, if they end up trading all of those guys basically for somebody who's not there and all you got out of it is one playoff series win basically over the Dodgers, they went from the team that did the most to the team that did the least on this list. And I cannot imagine what it's like to be a Padres fan right now because you got people out there dancing and making fools of themselves and talking trash, and you can't even find a way to get to the postseason.
Right. No question about it. And again, all these teams spend a lot of money, Clinton. They're going to keep spending a lot of money. But if you were to pick one of these 5, which one do you think will have the quickest turnaround going into 2024?
It's got to be the St. Louis Cardinals. This is simply a down year from a talent standpoint. I think that with Jordan Walker, that young kid coming up, they're going to be able to turn it around to the best organization out of all those 5, and that includes the New York Yankees.
All right, good point. And Terrika, I mean, let's hope that the Tigers have a better season in 2024 too, right?
We don't have enough drinks for that part of the show.
Thanks for joining us, Terrika. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.